Hello and welcome to another video. Today we will explore Palenque together, which is a little town in Chiapas, the south of Mexico. Let's get into it.
Our trip started from Campeche. We took the Tren Maya to live the new experience of this adventure in Mexico. The Tren Maya is a big infrastructure project which started in 2020.
And already it spans all the way from Cancun down to Palenque. The tracks go two ways. One is via Campeche, Mérida, that side, and the other is via Tulum, Bacalar on the Caribbean coast. It is a very controversial project because it disregarded a lot of environmental protection laws, also protection of indigenous communities that often fight for the protection of the environment. The trains themselves, they feel pretty normal. They feel like many trains that we have in Germany actually, like Regional Express or something like that. Just there's so much more stuff. You're very well taken care of, I would say.
The Tren Maya goes along all the peninsula de Yucatan at the south of Mexico.
Yeah. Well, all in all, it's a very new project, and you can feel in a lot of stages of like booking the tickets, for example. You can only book the tickets in the same month that you're in, like for the same month.
Then we arrived to this little town called Palenque, which is a very nice town surrounded by beautiful jungle. The weather is humid. It's tropical, hot, humid.
What we found is that Chiapas has a lot of cheap food,
Cheap.
but very good also. Like the street food was very good.
Yeah.
There is this one area, there is one more fancy street where you have a lot of fancy restaurants, cafes and hotels.
Yeah.
It's like the fancy zone of Palenque. And the rest of the city doesn't really have too much to offer except for a nice little plaza and church.
We stayed close to the Cabeza Maya or Mayan head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take any colectivo from there to visit the ruins, the waterfalls.
All the touristic spots. A lot of tourists just use Palenque for the ruins. They just stay like one night in Palenque, go to the ruins, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to explore. Like we did, we went to the Roberto Barrios Waterfalls or the Misol-Ha. And also popular spot is the Agua Azul, but we didn't go there because it's supposedly very similar to Roberto Barrios.
Palenque is in Chiapas, in the middle of the jungle. It's a little town, and the main attraction are the ruins, which are some pyramids built by Mayans.
The ruins of Palenque are one of the more significant sites that you can visit about Mayan history, I think. It used to have its peak in the 7th century, like inside of the deep lands of Chiapas, surrounded by mountains. Not high mountains, but mountains and lush jungle. So really in the wilderness you can find this huge city. Actually until now only 2 to 3% of the city of Palenque is discovered. The rest is still overgrown by the jungle and by plants, by trees, by all this stuff. So there's a lot more to discover. And some of the highlights there are, for example, the well-documented reign of the King Pakal. There is a lot of documentation that can be found actually in Palenque, but also in Tikal or Calakmul, about wars fought between the different Mayan cities. One of the highlights is the tomb of La Reina Roja, so the Red Queen, because the sarcophagus is full of red mineral paint, and there's some legends around it. Like it is not confirmed that she was the wife of King Pakal, but it is assumed. Just the surroundings are absolutely beautiful. You can, because it is right in the jungle, If you're lucky, you can even find some wildlife. So it is an amazing site. You can even climb one or two of the ruins and have a fascinating overview over the surrounding jungle and the mountain range.
We started our way by ourselves, but at the entrance of the park you can find also a lot of guides who can explain some history, something about the nature, you know, the trees and the plants that you can find around.
Yeah, and we took the collectivo there. So all in all, it was a lot cheaper than taking an organized tour.
Yeah.
And we had like a private tour, just the two of us basically. So we took the collectivo for 50 pesos maybe per person. And then we took the guide for 400 pesos.
Yeah.
So overall it's 600 pesos for two people, and we had an amazing time there with great pictures. Also, like, the guide took great pictures. So.
Oh yes. We also went to visit the waterfalls of Roberto Barrios, which is in the community of Professor Roberto Barrios. The waterfalls are amazing. You can swim, you can go into the jungle, and also you can slide down on the rocks. Simon did it, and I think it's very fun. I'm just a little bit afraid, so I didn't. But yeah, the color of the water is amazing. It's like emerald, or between blue and green.
Yeah, it's a cascade basically of natural. It's like natural cascades, like in different steps, and then these different steps feature all these pools, and from pool to pool you have a little waterfall coming down. Yeah, as Elisa mentioned, one you can slide down. There was like one cave you can dive in, so you dive like, maybe it's like a 20 centimeter gap that you have to dive underwater, and then you dive up again into a cave. So I did that, but I felt very uncomfortable actually, because yeah, if you're underwater and you know now you can't go up, it just feels very weird to me.
And the waterfalls are not very popular as Agua Azul, so you can find a very nice spot to stay and to enjoy the water and swim.
Yeah, like when we arrived, I think we found a pool or like one step of the cascades where there was just one other lady or maybe two other ladies, and that was it.
Yeah.
So very cool actually.
And there are many spots, like 5 or 6 waterfalls, where you can just find a place.
Later it was a bit more crowded, but it was still a very cool experience. Also because it's right there in the middle of the jungle. So Professor Roberto Barrios is one of many villages in Chiapas that is actually run and governed by the Zapatistas. So the Zapatistas is a leftist, kind of socialist group governing some parts of Chiapas after they had like an uprising in the 90s. They actually fought the Mexican government, and their aim is to support like local indigenous groups. So mainly the Zapatistas are indigenous people who want to fight for their right, because the Mayan community is often discriminated against in Chiapas, in Yucatan, and Campeche. So the idea of the Zapatistas is like to combine modern leftist politics with the Mayan ideologies, like sustainability, for example, of the nature. So they are against the Tren Maya project. They are totally peaceful. Like we just saw like some buildings. Sometimes you can recognize like these red stars at the buildings. We saw like a self-governed hospital, but I think it was closed. When you learn about the Zapatistas, you also learn about the modern day struggle of the Mayan people that is still ongoing against the official government of the countries that govern these regions nowadays.
Another place we visited was Misol-Ha, which is a 36-meter waterfall. It's huge, it's amazing. You can go through the waterfall. I mean, there's a little or narrow way to walk We went after midday. We took the colectivo again from the Cabeza Maya in Palenque. The waterfall of Misol-Ha, it's about 45 or 60 minutes from there. We paid around 50 Mexican pesos each.
I didn't bring my swimming gear, but we swam in the lake anyway.
Yeah.
It is super deep. The deepest point,
Oh,
I think, is like 19 meters, 20 meters, something like this. And later we found out that actually in the Predator movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger swam in the same lake.
Yeah, we didn't know that we could swim there, so we were not prepared to that. I was a little bit nervous, but we are alive.
One group that we kept seeing in Chiapas were the Guadalupanos. They organize a lot of processions and events around the 12th of December, which is the day of the Holy Virgin of Guadalupe. This figure was significant in the Christianization of Mexico, and actually it is just very popular in Mexico. I mean, here in Guatemala, for example, they know it, but they don't really worship the Guadalupe. So we saw in the city a lot of pilgrims. They camped around the central church in the central plaza. They all wore slippers for some reason, and often had like t-shirts in the same style. I also got a t-shirt of the Guadalupe because I was quite in the spirit. What I liked about this is how there were so many young people. I think it builds a bit of a community sense. And then we took the shuttle to Guatemala. We crossed the border and now we are in Guatemala. You can look forward to the next episode about Guatemala.
Oh,
Flores.
yes.
Flores, a beautiful lake.
Thank you for watching our video, and we hope you like it. If you are not subscribed, this is your chance, so you don't miss our videos. Yeah, stay tuned and see you soon.